So here we have a 2024 Nissan Kicks. This one comes in the SV trim level in Boulder Gray Pearl. And then we have charcoal cloth interior. Please excuse the birds that are around me that just came out of nowhere, but powertrain consists of a 1.6 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, made it to a CVT. So not a lot of big changes as opposed to the 23 year. Halogen headlamps on the front. I like the styling of the grille though. It kind of reminds me of BMW. It's nice and big, but it's also not taking away from the actual presence of the rest of the vehicle. Coming around to the wheels here, these are 17-inch alloy wheels. A nice sophisticated design, I think, for this trim level. We get passive keyless entry on the front. And then over here we have one-touch automatic up and down windows for the driver, front passenger, regular power windows for the back, power door lock controls, power mirror controls there. Gas cap release, hood release. We get a manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And then we do get a 6-way manual driver seat here. But I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. But before we check out the rear seat room, big shout out to John Roberts Nissan for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description, and you all can pause anywhere you need to take a closer look at the window sticker, but it stickers for $24,865. Let's go ahead and check out this leg room back here. So I don't know if it's how I have the seat adjusted, but I feel like I had more room in the Versa I just reviewed as opposed to this Kicks here. Headroom's a bit better. Of course, it's a little taller, but legroom's at best the same as the Versa. But there's a view of the front from back here. Now I do like this. We do get 2 USB-A ports back here. But let's go ahead and make our way towards the back. Unfortunately, because it is cold out here. The child lock's right here, manual. You can just adjust that. Now gas cap's open, takes regular, no problem. And there's a look at our back end there. A look underneath. And then we can lift up here, and our spare and such is underneath. But one thing that this does have over the Versa is it has a lot more cargo room. But coming around to the rear passenger side, we can fold these seats flat, so we just pull up here, fold that there. We can run longer objects through to the front, and pretty easy to get it back up. Just make sure the seat belt's out the way. You can snap that back into place there. Front passenger seat, 4-way manual. Glove compartment here. And as we come back around to the front, there's our parts content. And then let's go ahead and pop the hood. There's that 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. Kind of shut weird, but we're gonna go ahead and hop in the driver's seat now. So a hard plastic vinyl wrap steering wheel. There's the horn there. Now over here to the radio, we do get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth. And then we have wired CarPlay, wired Android Auto compatibility. Not too much going on here. I like the simplicity of this radio, but it still looks neat. It's a little dated, but not really a big deal for me. Backup cameras there, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. And then volume knob here, click to mute, or turn the audio off, excuse me. And then we can use this as a scroll knob for the tune in the radio stations. And then also you can click there and you can adjust the bass or whatever other audio setting you want to get a hold of there. Now single zone manual climate controls are here, so fan speed, temperature, fan direction. And then down here we have USB-C, USB-A port, 12 volt back in there, electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage, and then an automatic brake hold there. And then over here, shifter, just hit the lever, reverse, neutral, drive, and then you can get into that low gear there. And in sport mode, you just Click that. Bottle holders, center console cubby space. And there's a look at the back seat from up here. And then volume can be adjusted, track list or radio station presets. These 4 arrows can help you go through the left side of the gauge cluster, which is digital, and you can customize that, change your units and language from there, all of that. And then we do have our adaptive cruise with the gap adjust there, voice recognition, Bluetooth, and we can just set our speed regularly there. But push button starts here. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. And next, let's go ahead and take this Kicks SV out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Kicks SV, the 1.6 liter is okay. It's decent in here. I feel like it's better in the Versa, of course, but it does get the job done for people in this market. You're getting a car under 25 grand. It's not gonna be super quick. It's relatively efficient in terms of fuel economy, but I feel like this is just a bit more usable than the Versa, just in terms of the extra cargo space you get. But other than that, I mean, there's really no big difference. If it was me, I would get the Versa SR, save a little bit of money over this SV, but I like cars better anyway. I don't need the additional cargo space. I don't need to have a vehicle that sits higher. But there is a market, again, for people looking at something like this who want that additional space but don't necessarily want to pay for an SUV like this. Now, Nissan's 1.6 liters, I should say the Versa has a track record of being pretty reliable, especially with the 4-speed automatic that was offered before they went strictly CVT. And once they went strictly CVT, I saw quite a few that lasted 200,000, 220,000 miles. They just had their vehicle maintained at the dealer, so keeping the CVT fluid changed, oil changes, and things of that nature. Now, when these transmissions do give out, I feel like they're relatively expensive. Like any transmission, if you have to replace a transmission, it's not going to be cheap for a vehicle. So you never want a transmission to need major repairs regardless. And I think the reason that the CVTs and Nissans are known as they are is because when those do go out, people who are looking for a vehicle like that, they got that car because it was one of the cheapest ones. It had the best fuel economy. They were trying to save money. And you can imagine if they get a $3,000 or $4,000 repair bill from the service department, they're not going to be happy campers. But again, I feel like if you do keep up with your vehicle like you should, just from the scheduled maintenance from the dealer, and then also just make sure that you get a vehicle that gets a warranty of some sort, and then get an extended warranty after that if you plan on keeping it that long. It's just safer to do that, or know a mechanic. But other than that, I mean, these last a minute. They don't really, at least I haven't heard of any catastrophic failures coming about in these vehicles. But overall, this does drive like a Versa, which is kind of funny to me. Like the steering dynamic, even the steering wheel, the way the radio set up and all that, I feel like I'm in a Versa right now. So if you do like the Versa and you just want something with a little bit more space that sits up a little higher, then you won't be disappointed here. But overall, ride quality is about in the Versa. Decent. It's not necessarily super smooth, but not overly choppy. It just feels like a normal commuter vehicle. I'm going to turn at the stop sign and then put it in sport mode to get ready to give it a little pull getting on the interstate there. So we'll put the blinker on and we'll go ahead and hop on here. See what it can do in sport mode. Not gonna floor it, but gonna give it something. So got up to speed relatively easily. I do like that we have the blind spot monitor that's integrated into the side mirror here, as opposed to one that's in the actual glass. But we'll put on the adaptive cruise here and we'll see how it does, and we'll just stay in this right lane for the rest of the drive here. So as the vehicles in front of me start slowing down, I'm keeping that safe distance between myself and the vehicle in front of me. I should say the vehicle is, I'm not touching the throttle or the brake. And then it does get up to speed here again on its own, just to get up to that 72 mile per hour speed. But all in all, I think the ride quality is pretty good to be on the interstate here, especially for a commuter vehicle. And again, for the price point, not too bad for what this is. And I definitely think there is a market out here for someone who's looking for an inexpensive car that's relatively usable every day and still gives you pretty good gas mileage when you need it on the highway. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Nissan Kicks in the SV trim level.